Committee, James, and I want to thank him. February 2024, he had a very important hearing on Nigeria and other advocacy throughout that time. So the floor is yours.
Mr. Chairman, thank you so much for your personal invitation, for your leadership, and for your friendship. I'm honored to be back. Psalms 96:14 asks, "Who will rise up for me against the wicked? Who will take a stand for me against evildoers?" Nigeria is facing one of the gravest religious freedom crises in the world. As the former chairman of the House Foreign Affairs Committee on Africa, I have visited and have seen firsthand the direness of the conditions in what is now the deadliest place on earth to be a Christian. They are targeted, displaced, and killed simply for their faith. The ancient plea, "Is there no help for the widow's son?" still echoes today. Since 2019, nearly 17,000 Christians have been killed. In the first 7 months of this year alone, hundreds more were murdered. On June 13th, during the Yellowwater Massacre, more than 280 Christians were slaughtered in a single day. These are not isolated tragedies, but a sustained pattern of religiously motivated violence, often ignored or even enabled by the Nigerian government. Extremist groups like Boko Haram, Fulani militants, and ISIS West Africa attack often without any meaningful intervention from authorities. The lack of response has created an atmosphere of impunity where Christians continue to live in constant threat and fear. The United States has previously recognized this crisis. President Trump not only designated Nigeria as a country of particular concern during his first term, but redesignated it again in his second term after President Biden inexplicably removed that designation. Religious persecution is tied to political repression and weakening institutions in Nigeria. Example, the detention of Nnamdi Kanu is a clear example. In 2022, Nigeria's Court of Appeal struck down the charges against him and ordered his release. The UN Working Group on Arbitrary Detention has also called for his unconditional release. Yet he remains in solitary confinement, in deteriorating health, and recently had to represent himself in court. Nigeria has signaled that the law is optional and targeting Christians is fair game. Just hours ago this morning, despite the pleas and cries of Nigerian people and many Nigerian lawmakers, Nnamdi Kanu was convicted on all charges. For fiscal year 2025, the U.S. has requested nearly $8 billion for sub-Saharan Africa. But when Americans see political prisoners, judicial defiance, and the slaughter of Christians, they understandably ask as they meet their own struggles, why should our tax dollars support governments that refuse to protect their own people? Is our aid aiding a genocide? Nigeria is a nation of tremendous potential, but that potential is being choked out by violent persecution of its Christian population. No country can build a stable future where churches are burned, believers are killed, and communities live in fear. The United States must stay engaged, and Nigeria must change course now. Mr. Pratt, a direct question. Do you believe, in your professional assessment, that the government of Nigeria has been infiltrated by jihadists?
I do not believe that the government of Nigeria has been infiltrated by jihadists.
Okay, because when you look at the selective enforcement of the rule of law, one might question if there are any favoritism or looking the other way when groups are being specifically targeted, despite the fact, as my colleague Mr. Moore mentioned, not enforcing the rule of law with regard to weapons. My next question, how has the Nigerian government reacted since President Trump's country of particular concern designation announcement?
They have taken the designation very seriously. There is a senior delegation here now. They will meet with the most senior officials of the U.S. government this week. And we have already demarched the government in Abuja and here in Washington on the action plan. And I can say that the results so far have been positive in terms of cooperation.
The Nigerian government needs to do more to address this issue themselves, but what measures are being taken to assist Nigeria to increase its focus on persecution, particularly in the Middle Belt?
Yeah, so thank you for your question, Congressman James. As you mentioned, Middle Belt is a particular concern. That's where Christians, and you mentioned Yalwada, where 250 or 280 Christians were killed, massacred. They were targeted because they were Christians. Churches have been burned there. There have been internally displaced people there. And so we're reviewing all options at the State Department, including Chairman Smith, you mentioned our bureau, we have Global Magnitsky Act sanctions. We have other tools at our disposal as well to make sure that Nigeria, the Nigerian government gets the message that we are serious about the persecution of Christians and other communities as well, but particularly Christians right now who are suffering disproportionately in the Middle Belt.
Thank you for your answer, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for having me again. God bless you, and good luck. I'm here for you.
Thank you, sir. Committee, James, and I want to thank him. February of 2024, he had a very important hearing on Nigeria and other advocacy throughout that time. So the floor is yours.
Mr. Chairman, thank you so much for your personal invitation, for your leadership, and for your friendship. I'm honored to be back. Psalms 96:14 asks, "Who will rise up for me against the wicked? Who will take a stand for me against evildoers?" Nigeria is facing one of the gravest religious freedom crises in the world. As the former chairman of the House Foreign Affairs Committee on Africa, I have visited and have seen firsthand the direness of the conditions in what is now the deadliest place on earth to be a Christian. They are targeted, displaced, and killed simply for their faith. The ancient plea, "Is there no help for the widow's son?" still echoes today. Since 2019, nearly 17,000 Christians have been killed. In the first 7 months of this year alone, hundreds more were murdered. On June 13th, during the Yellowwater massacre, more than 280 Christians were slaughtered in a single day. These are not isolated tragedies, but a sustained pattern of religiously motivated violence, often ignored or even enabled by the Nigerian government. Extremist groups like Boko Haram, Fulani militants, and ISIS West Africa attack often without any meaningful intervention from authorities. The lack of response has created an atmosphere of impunity where Christians continue to live in constant threat and fear. The United States has previously recognized this crisis. President Trump not only designated Nigeria as a country of particular concern during his first term, but redesignated it again in his second term after President Biden inexplicably removed that designation. Religious persecution is tied to political repression and weakening institutions in Nigeria. Example, the detention of Nnamdi Kanu is a clear example. In 2022, Nigeria's Court of Appeal struck down the charges against him and ordered his release. The UN Working Group on Arbitrary Detention has also called for his unconditional release. Yet he remains in solitary confinement, in deteriorating health, and recently had to represent himself in court. Nigeria has signaled that the law is optional and targeting Christians is fair game. Just hours ago this morning, despite the pleas and cries of the Nigerian people and many Nigerian lawmakers, Nnamdi Kanu was convicted on all charges. For fiscal year 2025, the U.S. has requested nearly $8 billion for sub-Saharan Africa. But when Americans see political prisoners, judicial defiance, and the slaughter of Christians, they understandably ask as they meet their own struggles, why should our tax dollars support governments that refuse to protect their own people? Is our aid aiding a genocide? Nigeria is a nation of tremendous potential, but that potential is being choked out by violent persecution of its Christian population. No country can build a stable future where churches are burned, believers are killed, and communities live in fear. The United States must stay engaged, and Nigeria must change course now. Mr. Pratt, a direct question. Do you believe in your professional assessment that the government of Nigeria has been infiltrated by jihadists?
I do not believe that the government of Nigeria has been infiltrated by jihadists.
Okay, because when you look at the selective enforcement of the rule of law, one might question if there are any favoritism or looking the other way when groups are being specifically targeted, despite the fact, as my colleague Mr. Moore mentioned, not enforcing the rule of law with regard to weapons. My next question, How has the Nigerian government reacted since President Trump's country of particular concern designation announcement?
They have taken the designation very seriously. There is a senior delegation here now. They will meet with the most senior officials of the U.S. government this week. And we have already demarched the government in Abuja and here in Washington on the action plan. And I can say that the results so far have been positive in terms of cooperation.
The Nigerian government needs to do more to address this issue themselves, but what measures are being taken to assist Nigeria to increase its focus on persecution, particularly in the Middle Belt?
Yeah, so thank you for your question, Congressman James. As you mentioned, Middle Belt is a particular concern. That's where Christians, you mentioned Yalwada, where 250 or 280 Christians were killed, massacred. They were targeted because they were Christians. Churches have been burned there. There have been internally displaced people there. And so we're reviewing all options at the State Department, including Chairman Smith, you mentioned our bureau, we have Global Magnitsky Act sanctions. We have other tools at our disposal as well to make sure that Nigeria, the Nigerian government gets the message that we are serious about the persecution of Christians and other communities as well, but particularly Christians right now who are suffering disproportionately in the Middle Belt.
Thank you for your answer, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for having me again. God bless you, and good luck. I'm here for you.
Thank you, sir. Committee, James, and I want to thank him. February of 2024, he had a very important hearing on Nigeria and other advocacy throughout that time. So the floor is yours.
Mr. Chairman, thank you so much for your personal invitation, for your leadership, and for your friendship. I'm honored to be back. Psalms 96:14 asks, "Who will rise up for me against the wicked? Who will take a stand for me against evildoers?" Nigeria is facing one of the gravest religious freedom crises in the world. As the former chairman of the House Foreign Affairs Committee on Africa, I have visited and have seen firsthand the direness of the conditions in what is now the deadliest place on earth to be a Christian. They are targeted, displaced, and killed simply for their faith. The ancient plea, "Is there no help for the widow's son?" still echoes today. Since 2019, nearly 17,000 Christians have been killed. In the first 7 months of this year alone, hundreds more were murdered. On June 13th, during the Yalwada massacre, more than 280 Christians were slaughtered in a single day. These are not isolated tragedies, but a sustained pattern of religiously motivated violence, often ignored or even enabled by the Nigerian government. Extremist groups like Boko Haram, Fulani militants, and ISIS West Africa attack often without any meaningful intervention from authorities. The lack of response has created an atmosphere of impunity where Christians continue to live in constant threat and fear. The United States has previously recognized this crisis. President Trump not only designated Nigeria as a country of particular concern during his first term, but redesignated it again in his second term after President Biden inexplicably removed that designation. Religious persecution is tied to political repression and weakening institutions in Nigeria. Example, the detention of Nnamdi Kanu is a clear example. In 2022, Nigeria's Court of Appeal struck down the charges against him and ordered his release. The UN Working Group on Arbitrary Detention has also called for his unconditional release. Yet he remains in solitary confinement, in deteriorating health, and recently had to represent himself in court. Nigeria has signaled that the law is optional and targeting Christians is fair game. Just hours ago this morning, despite the pleas and cries of the Nigerian people and many Nigerian lawmakers, Nnamdi Kanu was convicted on all charges. For fiscal year 2025, the U.S. has requested nearly $8 billion for sub-Saharan Africa. But when Americans see political prisoners, judicial defiance, and the slaughter of Christians, they understandably ask as they meet their own struggles, why should our tax dollars support governments that refuse to protect their own people? Is our aid aiding a genocide? Nigeria is a nation of tremendous potential, but that potential is being choked out by violent persecution of its Christian population. No country can build a stable future where churches are burned, believers are killed, and communities live in fear. The United States must stay engaged, and Nigeria must change course now. Mr. Pratt A direct question. Do you believe, in your professional assessment, that the government of Nigeria has been infiltrated by jihadists?
I do not believe that the government of Nigeria has been infiltrated by jihadists.
Okay, because when you look at the selective enforcement of the rule of law, one might question if there are any favoritism or looking the other way when groups are being specifically targeted, despite the fact, as my colleague Mr. Moore mentioned, not enforcing the rule of law with regard to weapons. My next question, how has the Nigerian government reacted since President Trump's particular concern designation announcement?
They have taken the designation very seriously. There is a senior delegation here now. They will meet with the most senior officials of the U.S. government this week. And we have already demarched the government in Abuja and here in Washington on the action plan. And I can say that the results so far have been positive in terms of cooperation.
The Nigerian government needs to do more to address this issue themselves, but what measures are being taken to assist Nigeria to increase its focus on persecution, particularly in the Middle Belt?
Yeah, so thank you for your question, Congressman James. As you mentioned, the Middle Belt is a particular concern. That's where Christians, you mentioned Yalwada, where 250 or 280 Christians were killed, massacred. They were targeted because they were Christians. Churches have been burned there. There have been internally displaced people there. And so we're reviewing all options at the State Department, including Chairman Smith. You mentioned our bureau, we have Global Magnitsky Act sanctions. We have other tools at our disposal as well to make sure that Nigeria, the Nigerian government gets the message that we are serious about the persecution of Christians and other communities as well, but particularly Christians right now who are suffering disproportionately in the Middle Belt.
Thank you for your answer, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for having me again. God bless you, and good luck. I'm here for you.
Thank you, sir. Chair recognizes Mr. Hussein.
Thank you, Chairman Smith, and I'm going to deviate a little bit from my written remarks, much to the chagrin of my staff, but I feel it needs to be addressed right from the very beginning. The simple fact is radicalized Islamists are running amok in Nigeria. They're terrorizing moderate Muslims, they're terrorizing Christians, and they are targeting Christians. That cannot be disputed. And while we see many people trying to emphasize the outside issues, lifestyle, who owns land, who is the herder, et cetera, they want to emphasize that those are the key drivers and that they're the key drivers of everything but religion. And I and many others, and I'm not just talking about those of us on this committee or Americans, I'm talking about religious leaders in Nigeria, believe religion is one of, if not the main driver of targeted violence right now. We just heard from Bishop Anagbe. A week and a half ago, I talked to President Magaji. President Magaji is the president of my own, he's the Nigerian president of my own faith sect, the Christian Reformed Church. We have 400,000, mostly from a Dutch background, 400,000 participants and members here in North America between the United States and Canada. We have 500,000 in Nigeria. We are essentially an African church that happens to be headquartered in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And I want to ask this question, because this seems to be sort of part of the central argument. Well, this isn't necessary. Well, certainly the Trump administration believed it was necessary the first go around. And I want to ask this question. Did things improve when the Biden administration removed the CPC?
Thank you for your question, Representative Pydane.
And just for the record, I'm seeing a number of heads shaking no in the right behind you. And these are people that may have a little better information than what the American media is, and they're all nodding their head right now. So go ahead.
Thank you for your question, Representative Pydane. As you mentioned, violence has increased over the last several years. It was unfortunate that the Biden administration chose to remove Nigeria as a CPC in 2021 and 2022 and 2023. And President Trump's bold action to redesignate them is a wake-up call to the Nigerian government. And as you mentioned, extremist religious ideology is of course a primary motivator of these attacks. The attackers themselves use religious language. They target churches. They target Christians on holidays.
Yeah, and absolutely. It was Christmas Eve of 2023 when 200 people were murdered, killed in a church. Now, I want to ask this. So one question was, did things improve? I think the answer is no on that. Here's the question. Proportionally, do we see Christians killing Muslims in Christian areas of Nigeria the way that we are seeing radicalized Islamists killing Christians in Muslim areas of Nigeria? Proportionally, do we see Christians killing Muslims in Christian areas of Nigeria the way that we are seeing radicalized Islamists killing Christians in Muslim areas of Nigeria? Proportionally, do we see Christians killing Muslims in Christian areas of Nigeria the way that we are seeing radicalized Islamists killing Christians in Muslim areas of Nigeria?
What I can tell you, Representative Huizenga, is that Christians are disproportionately targeted based on their population.
Exactly. And by the way, for those that you can't pick up with the microphones, there's audible yeses behind you. Again, the people that are watching who are nodding their heads. Why? Because they have lived this. Their families have lived this. I went to school with kids from Nigeria. I've got neighbors who've been missionaries there, who have family there, who have friends there, who know this is going on. Yet we've got not just the mass media, we got people within the Congress denying that this is happening, or certainly de-emphasizing it. It ought to be outrageous that it is Christians, moderate Muslims, anyone being terrorized by these radicalized Islamists in Nigeria, and we've got the Tinubu government sitting back and not doing enough. And I recently just was interviewed by Nigerian television, Arise TV, and that was really their question. Is the Tinubu government doing enough? And I had to answer, no, they are not. And I do not understand how a delegation can come here to the United States and downplay and come up with all of these other excuses as to why this is allowed to happen. It should be rejected and should be called out for what it is. And I've got a couple of other questions that my time has expired that I'm going to have to go and ask for them in written responses. But one of them I need to highlight is in Benue State, there's 1.4 million people who are considered internally displaced. Understanding that the administration has supported refugee assistance in dozens of other countries since taking office, what humanitarian assistance support are you providing or plan to provide to the IDPs in Benue and Taraba states, where many of those Christian communities reside? And I'll have to take the answer in writing. And Mr. Chairman, with your indulgence, just to show the breadth of this, I want to submit for the record remarks from the chairman of the Financial Services Committee, French Hill from Arkansas, who also serves on the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence, the Intel Committee. And I serve as vice chair of the Committee of Financial Services. This is where many of those sanctions originate and the enforcement. And I will say this, sanctions are only as good as your willingness to enforce them. And as the chairman has pointed out, there are ways to get out of those sanctions. And that's through correct your behavior. So with that, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to submit the letter. Thank you. And with that, I yield back.
Chair recognizes Mr. Jackson.
Islamists killing Christians in Muslim areas of Nigeria? Here's the question. Proportionally, do we see Christians killing Muslims in Christian areas of Nigeria the way that we are seeing radicalized Islamists killing Christians in Muslim areas of Nigeria? Here's the question. Proportionally, do we see Christians killing Muslims in Christian areas of Nigeria the way that we are seeing radicalized Islamists killing Christians in Muslim areas of Nigeria? Here's the question. Proportionally, do we see Christians killing Muslims in Christian areas of Nigeria the way that we are seeing radicalized Islamists killing Christians in Muslim areas of Nigeria? Here's the question. Proportionally, do we see Christians killing Muslims in Christian areas of Nigeria the way that we are seeing radicalized Islamists killing Christians in Muslim areas of Nigeria?
What I can tell you, Representative Huizenga, is that Christians are disproportionately targeted based on their population.
Exactly. And by the way, for those that you can't pick up with the microphones, there's audible yeses behind you. Again, the people that are watching who are nodding their heads. Why? Because they have lived this. Here's the question. Proportionally, do we see Christians killing Muslims in Christian areas of Nigeria the way that we are seeing radicalized Islamists killing Christians in Muslim areas of Nigeria?
What I can tell you, Representative Huizenga, is that Christians are disproportionately targeted based on their population.
Exactly. And by the way, for those that you can't pick up with the microphones, there's audible yeses behind you. Again, the people that are watching who are nodding here's the question. Proportionally, do we see Christians killing Muslims in Christian areas of Nigeria the way that we are seeing radicalized Islamists killing Christians in Muslim areas of Nigeria?
What I can tell you, Representative Huizenga, is that Christians are disproportionately targeted based on their population.
Exactly. And by the way, for those that you can't pick up with the microphones, there's audible yeses behind you. Christian areas here's the question. Proportionally, do we see Christians killing Muslims in Christian areas of Nigeria the way that we are seeing radicalized Islamists killing Christians in Muslim areas of Nigeria?
What I can tell you, Representative Huizenga, is that Christians are disproportionately targeted based on their population.
Exactly. And by that here's the question. Proportionally, do we see Christians killing Muslims in Christian areas of Nigeria the way that we are seeing radicalized Islamists killing Christians in Muslim areas of Nigeria?
What I can tell you, Representative Huizenga, is that Christians are disproportionately targeted based on their population.
Exactly. And by the way, for those that you can't pick up with the microphones, there's audible yeses behind you. Again, the people that are watching who are nodding their heads. Why? Because they have lived this. Their families have lived this. I went to school with kids.
Thank you. A minute silence to the fallen heroes of Biafra, and the time starts now before we continue. We observe a minute silence to our fallen heroes, and we mourn all our heroes who have passed on, and our heroes who are still fighting. We celebrate them. Our leaders that are in prison, that have been serving Biafra, we salute them so much, and we uphold their sacrifices. We shall continue to keep the flag of Biafra flying above sea level until Biafra is fully restored. Ise, 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 Ise. Yes. Greetings to all Biafrans and lovers of freedom. I salute all of you and I bring you warm greetings. To our leaders that have sacrificed their lives for us, we remain loyal to our supreme leader. And to our leaders that have lived before us, we remain loyal to their sacrifices. And to our Prime Minister in Finland prison, we remain indebted to his sacrifices as well. Our Biafra Defense Forces in the homeland who sacrifice their lives on a daily basis to see that the Biafra we have declared is not wiped out. We remain loyal to all of you and we say very big thank you to all your sacrifices. Our APM will be joining us later on to address Biafrans. Meanwhile, that video I played before, you can see him from the US congressional briefing while it was happening. So he is on his way back from there. So he will join us here as soon as he's ready to talk to Biafrans. So, warm greetings to all Biafrans. And I bring you words of courage and emboldenment because you have fought a good fight of faith and you have won the crown. Yes, that is what you need to understand. Never a time that you heard that people fought for freedom and they got it on a platter of gold. No, it has to be brutal. You have to pay a series of sacrifices. How many years was Nelson Mandela in prison for the freedom of the South African people? How many years? I want all of you to go and check. And many other freedom fighters of all times. How many years did the American people fight to get their freedom from the British Empire? Go and check. Cold bloody war. How many years did Finland fight Russia to get their freedom of independence? Cold bloody war. These are the things you need to understand. We salute all Biafrans that have sacrificed their lives from time immemorial to this very day. Biafra is our destination. Biafra is our cause. And you need to be very ready because opportunity has presented itself now for the entire world to know and understand that Biafra independence is here. The kidnap of our supreme leader is known by the international community. The pronouncement of the jailing of our supreme leader by Tinubu is known by international community, and most especially the American government. In today's congressional briefing, while you heard all those conversations that were going on, the lawmakers of America, they talked about the pronouncement of the imprisonment of Nnamdi Kanu today, our APM was there in that congressional briefing. Live and direct. That is why I played the video so that you can hear and know what went on there. And I'll bring it again so that for some of you that may not understand that the US government have been briefed of the Nigeria atrocities on the Biafran people, the Nigerian atrocity on the Christians, the Biafrans. When I say Christians, I mean the Biafrans, because Biafrans are predominantly Christians. They are predominantly Christians. The US government are fully aware. The congressional testimony, the congressional briefing that was submitted to the US government was not for a joke. So they are following up on one Nigeria. So you were shocked to hear that inside this congressional briefing today, that Rep. John James was now hitting on Nigeria for imprisoning Nnamdi Kanu. And he made it very clear that every Nigerian have given their voices calling for the release of Nnamdi Kanu. International community did. The UN arbitrary group did. And even the US lawmakers did. International allies have also spoken, telling Nigerian government, release Nnamdi Kanu. They refuse. Even their court. You will be shocked. I want you to listen to this again because I played it at the beginning of this program as jingle for over 10 minutes now. I've been playing it. This US lawmaker here, inside today's US congressional briefing, in the lawmakers' chambers of America, he told you they have been following up. They watch when the Nigerian court in 2022 pronounced the release of Nnamdi Kanu. Then the government refused. And then they also told you that they have been watching and seeing all the protests and petitions that fellow Nigerians have also done, demanding to the release of Nnamdi Kanu. And they have refused. And then he also told you that today, before he entered this congressional briefing, that today, that Nigerian government have pronounced life imprisonment for Nnamdi Kanu. So he was posing a question now inside the congressional briefing, or in congressional hearing. He was now asking, is Nigeria, the government or the presidency of Nigeria, infiltrated or influenced by the jihadist terrorists? So how did they know all this? Mind you, I will still show you photos of meetings and engagement that BRGI have had with this senator. So the US government, the US lawmakers are well informed of Nigeria's graveyard. And I want all of you to understand something. This is not time for you to go into a panic mood. This is not time for you to go into a mood of sleeping and not eating food. No, this is time for you to rejoice. Do you know why you have to rejoice? Because Nigerian government are foolishly fallen into the trap that was set for them. Biafra Republic government in exile and every voices of conscience have called the US government to the reality of the what? Persecution of Nnamdi Kanu. and the persecution of Christians. And then we took a bold step to even go into the congressional building in the Capitol Hill to host a testimony briefing, a congressional briefing, to explain and give it with boldness. And then everywhere now was booming with Biafra Republic government in exile is responsible for the designation of Nigeria into CPC. Biafra Republic, which media house have not written that it is Biafra Republic government in exile that is responsible for nailing Nigeria in Washington, D.C.? That you see that the Faunyash is open in international community today, that you see that Nigeria is running like this today. Did you think it happened by coincidence? BRGIE cook food for them, and they chop the food push them. Yes, that trap that was set for Nigerian government, they have fallen into it. Today was a congressional hearing, and this was the House Committee on Foreign Affairs, specifically on Sub-Saharan Africa. The main point of discourse there was to discuss about the Africa issue, and Nigeria was the spotlight. The redesignation of Nigeria as a country of particular concern. As you see APM there, now so he was there inside that hearing today. So this video that you see on the screen is live today. It's not up to 2 hours since I posted it. It is from that place. APM even went live. If you go and check his Twitter page, you'll see that he went live on his page while he was in that congressional hearing today. So the US lawmakers, as they are talking about the persecution of Christians, they were now asking question. Is it that there are two laws, one for the Fulani sect, and then a second different one against the Christians, which happens to be Nnamdi Kanu? Why is it that the Boko Haram terrorists are not hampered, but Nnamdi Kanu, they are pronouncing so years for them? This is why I say Biafran people, one Nigeria are falling into the trap that you set for them. And it is very clear now that Biafra independence has come to be. Yes. For Nigeria to now come out and disgrace themselves by telling the entire world that Nnamdi Kanu should be hanged to death because of calling for independence, Biafra Republic. Because of calling for independence, Biafra Republic. That alone is a strong message to the international community. So when somebody say, you are stupid, I will kill you, I will bomb this place, I will bomb this place. Did he bomb it? Where is the evidence that they bombed it? And from where did they bomb it? So what evidence are you using to pronounce against Nnamdi Kanu? Now, I want to ask a very simple question. Donald Trump said he is going to bring guns a-blazing to the terrorists that are killing babies, women, and children in Nigeria. There come my questions. Nigerian corrupt judge today said, Nigerian corrupt judge today said that because Nnamdi Kanu said, he said in a broadcast, they quoted, that he told people that were protesting that they should engage. They say the Nigerian embassy, British High Commission, US High Commission. We understand the game. Because of what we have done to Nigerian terrorist government in the US, in Washington, D.C., you people are trying to go and bring video of brokers that you now connect and say, because he said that they should engage this embassy, they should engage this embassy, they should engage this embassy. So you're trying to set fire between Biafra and the US. Why? Because it is from US that we nail all of you. It is from US that we put fire on your nyash and you got designation. I want to ask you people a very simple question because you did not give Nnamdi Kanu opportunity to ask the question. When he told people, I objection, my lord, I am entitled to do what? To seek redress. You did not allow him. They say, push him out, push him out. Then they now sit down there and then they were reading their paper as if they are reading for dogs. No, when you're treating dog want to speak, you shut dog up. You say, dog, come on here. You just carry the fukonki for him. Tie him out, say, eat. When he carry the thing, come on. Oh my God. You know, Biafra Republic government in Israel have given people what is called Koboko, Woto Woto, in Washington, D.C. And while you were there, in that place, in fact, wait, let me go and display our APM inside this congressional briefing of the U.S. Foreign Affairs. Let me display him while he was there live today, while the conference was going on. Let me display him so that the Nigerian government go die well. While you were there, trying to pronounce Nnamdi Kanu's death sentence, huh? This is where we were. This is where BRGI was. BRGI was here, preparing your next line of death. One Nigeria terrorist government. Yes. See, this is the conference happening, the congressional briefing today.
Chairman Smith, recommended Jacobs, distinguished members of the
That's the congressional briefing today. APM Okechukwu was there live and direct. And it is from there that that senator, that congressman, made that pronouncement about Nnamdi Kanu and Tinubu
I would like to reinforce the
and
recommendation
asking them
that I
the
made
question
before this committee in
of
August.
what they are doing.
In addition, I would like to
So,
request
can you
that
see
we
them?
have this tenuous moment in U.S.
Can you see them?
provide an opportunity
So, while you were crying in your court trying to pronounce Nnamdi Kanu imprisonment, you were trying to sentence him to death or pronouncing Biafra independence dead. Biafra independence was here in Washington, D.C., preparing your next line of death. Biafra independence was here in the House of Foreign Affairs congressman, preparing your next. Look at him there. Look at the Biafra independence space there. Can you see him? That is him inside that Congress house today. So please tell Nigerian terrorist government that they have just, you see, the way they did this thing today, is like they actually uh, did this their pronouncement on the very right day. The day that the U.S. congressional briefing is going on, congressional hearing on the Nigeria is going on. So as you are here pronouncing how to kill Biafra independence in Nigeria and how to kill Nnamdi Kanu, Biafra, the face of Biafra is here in the congressional briefing. Can you see him? That is him here. That is him here. And then Nigeria is crying while the US congressmen are here talking about telling the world that they have seen what Nigeria just did few hours ago. I want Biafran people to be very happy. This is not time for you to be weak. This is time for you to be very strong. This is time for you to bring all your energy and strength out to give to Biafra Republic government in exile. It is what we are going to do and what we have been doing that is smoking Nigeria nyash out. You see, Nigerian terrorist government have existed for years, right? And the terrorists themselves have existed for years. And they have been massacring you for years. I'm asking you, where are your lawmakers in Nigeria? Were they able to take Nigerian government to anywhere? Were they able to take Nigerian government to America? Were they able to hold Nigerian government to book? Were they able to flog Nigerian government for massacring you since 2002? No. All of you that are shouting that you are Nigerians, have you been able to fight Boko Haram and destroy them since 2002? Have you been able to put an end to Boko Haram terrorists that have been massacring all of you since 2002? You were not. But when was Biafra Republic government in Israel formed? It was in 2023, right? And from 2023 to this very day, how many years is that? Since when did we contract the lobbies and attorney? It was 2024, around June, July. Is it up to 1 year? Yes, 1 year. 1 year and few months. Between 1 year and few months, Biafra Republic government in Israel have been able to expose Nigeria in international community. Not just international community, but America, to be precise, where the laws that affect the entire world are being made. So tell Tinubu that he has just validated Biafra independence. Yes, on a global stage, by pronouncing the imprisonment of Nnamdi Kanu to life imprisonment. Yes, that is what you have just done. You have projected Biafra independence to the US Congress now and told them, yes, we were denying before that they are not persecuting Biafra independence. But now they are telling the US government that they are coming up very clear that there is Biafra independence and their leader is Nnamdi Kanu. And that they want to kill all Biafrans and Biafra independence. That is why you heard them talking about death sentence. When you heard of death sentence, they wanted to hang Nnamdi Kanu to death, meaning that you want to hang every Biafran that is speaking of Biafra independence to death. You want to shoot them to firing squad. You want to stone them to death, just like the terrorist mob that will be stoning Deborah to death. What crime did he commit? Did you see him with a weapon that will kill anybody? His only weapon is the microphone. He used the microphone to awaken the subconsciousness of everybody in one Nigeria. Now, let me address something. Nigerian lawyer or whatever they called him said that our supreme leader said people should engage the US Embassy and the UK Commission. And so because he said that, you now say he is international terrorist. So you are giving him death sentence. You're giving him life imprisonment. I want to ask you a question. This is Donald J. Trump. Let me bring the message where he gave you people about the guns are blazing. So I'm going to ask now. As I bring this, I'm going to ask the question that I want to ask. You know, Nigeria is a very stupid country to talk about. So when you're talking about them, you have to ask whether there is somebody that can defend them. Now, everybody should look at what is on the screen. This is Donald Trump's message to Nigerian terrorist government. That if they don't stop the Boko Haram terrorists, that this their now disgraced country, they will stand to face what? Guns are blazing on what? To wipe the Islamic jihadist terrorists. He did not even say it's coming for the citizens of Nigeria. He said to the terrorists. That is what he said in his message. Now, I want to ask the Nigerian terrorist government lawyers who don't have sense. You said that Nnamdi Kanu incited people and said, he said in a broadcast that people should engage the US Embassy and also to engage the UK Commission. I want to ask you, what is different from what you said that Nnamdi Kanu said with his mouth, with what Donald Trump said here? Has Donald Trump come to kill all of you? Has he even gone to kill the Boko Haram terrorists? Has Donald Trump even gone to kill the Boko Haram terrorists? He has not even gone to kill the Boko Haram terrorists. Because of only this message that he said, all of you are running helter-skelter, coming to America now to come and seek redress. Because you are not coming to America because of the life of the Christians and citizens involved. You are rushing to America because of what? The existence of the terrorists. Because you don't want the American lawmakers, you don't want the US Army, you don't want the foreign army personnel to come and eliminate your terrorists because you are using the terrorists to kill the Christians. So you're going to America is not for the Christians. It's not even for the Muslims that are being killed, as you said. But you're going to America is to see that the terrorists here are not eliminated. Since Donald Trump made this pronouncement, all of you have been jumping from one seat to another. You see discussions back up everywhere. I want to ask you, guns are blazing. Since Donald Trump made this statement, has he dropped the bombs in Nigeria? Has he even dropped the bomb on the terrorists? Can you show me one evidence of the terrorists that have been neutralized by the guns are blazing coming from the American government? No, you can't see, right? So this is just messages that somebody say. Just like I say, if I say now, I will kill you if you don't stop killing Biafran people. I will burn down your embassy. I will burn down your house if you don't stop killing Biafran people. As you are supporting the killing of Biafran people and the Christians, if you don't stop, I will burn down your house and burn down your embassy. Then I say, every youth, everybody that are protesting, go and engage this embassy, go and engage this house, go and engage this commission, go and engage the UK commission because they are supporting these terrorists. They are supporting this jihad. So by the time I now say, go and engage them, make noise in that building so that they will hear and know that something has happened, and then they will come to your attention. Oh, Nigerian government say, because of this that I have said now, I am international terrorist. Oh my God. Biafran people, this is time for all of you to be emboldened. If you have never been ready for Biafra, this is the time for you to be ready for Biafra. Yes. This is the time for you to stand up. and join your hands with BROJ to do that which we need to do. It is not the going to court every day by the lawyers in Nigeria that will release Nnamdi Kanu. It is what we are doing, how we are dealing with these people in the homeland and also in international community. Yes, I told you that the designation of Nigeria into CPC has done what? Weaponize U.S. foreign policies and all the apparatus against Nigeria terrorist government. It is going to bring in what? International pressure on their military formations. It is going to bring international political and diplomatic isolation on them. It's going to bring what you never expected. So that is why Nigerian government today, having seen how far Biafran government in exile, have fired them in Washington, D.C. Omotosho, that they call him Josh, had to use their discretion because of the way we have fired them in Washington, D.C. to expose Nigeria. Because what we have done to them has not happened for the past 100 years. Yes. Who are you that you are able to turn American government to start digging into Nigeria? You dig into their anus, dig into their stomach, dig into their mouth and remove the tongue. You want to see what is inside the cavachos. Want to see everything that is there. And they are crying today. That is why, because they know that our leader is Nnamdi Kanu, and he is the leader of the Biafra people. We are fighting for one Biafra independence. So when they enter the court today, they have to use the hunger of what we have done to them to say they want to hang our supreme leader to death. They want to stone him to death. They want to shoot him to death. Let us see now. We were waiting for them to say death sentence, go and hang him or use gun and shoot him. We were waiting for them to now go and carry the gun and start shooting him. All of a sudden, they went inside and then came back. Oh, they changed mouth. They don't want to cast the first stone again. Or they don't want to shoot again with gun. Wow, no, say may they go put Onyendu for a barrel. So that when I go come shoot them. Now go call one Boko Haram Fulani terrorist, make it come fire Onyendu. We were waiting for for that to happen now. But surprisingly, Omotosho went inside and then came back. What did he do? Oh, now we are having mercy. We are changing our mind. We are not going to say to death by hanging again, stone him to death again. We want to say life imprisonment. Life imprisonment for what crime did he commit? This is to explain to you as a Biafran that your Biafra has been pushed to international level for your recognition. There are different ways that your promotion needs to come. Yes. If you were pronounced free and walk out of this court today, don't you know that that will be humiliation on Nigeria? Don't you know that that will be humiliation on Nigeria if you were just said, oh, walk out of this court and walk out as a free man? Did Nigerian government not pronounce Nnamdi Kanu to walk out from their court in 2022? Did they allow him to walk out? Since that one, it has been humiliation upon them. And now you sit down to wait and see that the same Nigerian court which you are dealing with, which you are exposing, will now bow down to you and stand up in their own court and say, oh, Onyendu, carry your bag and walk out and go. You have disgraced Nigeria in different ways, and your children are still disgracing Nigeria in Washington, D.C. Our nakedness of Nigeria is in Washington, D.C. now because you yourself, you expose us so much. And now your children have gone to engage the U.S. lawmakers in Washington, D.C. and they are disgracing us every day. Oh, Nnamdi Kanu, walk away, oh, carry your Biafra and walk away. Then that means you don't know what Biafra or freedom fighting or independence is all about. No, you don't know. I don't know why some of you were having the hopes and aspirations in the Nigerian court. You don't have hope and aspiration in the court of your oppressor. What has happened today is for you to know that you have a right for your independence. You are fighting a just cause. What is happening today is for you to know that you are the endangered species to one Nigeria because you are fighting for your independence. And so you should not be released to walk out like that because you have become a resistance. From the entire Nigerian terrorist contraption, which people are the only one that are able to hold the Boko Haram terrorists, the terrorists that are killing people every day in Nigeria? Which people have been able to hold them to ransom? Which people have been able to block them from killing their babies, women, and children? Which people have been able to stop the terrorists from killing their babies, women, and children? Is it not the Biafran people? Is it not the Biafra independence movement? Is it not the Biafra Defense Forces? Which people are able to storm Nigerian terrorist foot soldiers and stop them from killing your babies? The people of Middle Belt are crying. The people of Yoruba land are crying. The people of the North are crying. But it is only in Biafra land, the Biafra territory, that are able to storm and stop the terrorists from eliminating your babies, women, and children. In Biafra land, you are not crying to your governors. In Biafra land, you're not crying to the senators or the ministers. You know your problem, you identify them, and you're going after them. So how do you now expect that you will be treated the same way with kid gloves that they are treating other people? Your case needs to be different because you are fighting a just cause. Because where you are is where living as a Christian has become very dangerous, most dangerous in the entire world. So that alone, you being a Christian that is able to resist this kind of barbarism that is happening, this genocide, it is a validation and a legitimacy for you on your independence cause. Nnamdi Kanu will be a very proud man today. Nnamdi Kanu will be a very proud man today that while he is in prison because of Biafra, that all of you are giving Nigeria woto in the international community. And you're giving your support and your push to the Biafra Republic government in exile to see that Nigeria continue to win. He will be very happy of your good works. So if you're not part and parcel of the good works that is happening, please wake up and know that you are failing and you're missing in action. Come and join and give your support. The independence of Biafra has come to be. And it is a wake-up call. And what One Nigeria have done is just to help you to amplify your reason and your cause of Biafra independence. It is now being discussed in the U.S. congressional hearing, where they were to discuss about what is happening in Africa. Your own case became a prime factor. Listen to it. Your own case became a prime factor. Yes. For those of you that may not understand the advantages of what you have been doing in Washington, D.C., it is time you get to understand the message now. This is this very conference that I just played now. This is the very conference where APM is. This conference that you see that everybody are sharing. APM was in this conference that was happening today. In this conference, they were talking about Nigeria. Brgie Apm was here, and the congressmen were talking about what Nigeria has done to Nnamdi Kanu, the Biafra leader. Listen to this very video.
His unconditional release. Yet he remains in solitary confinement in political repression, but redesignated it again in his second term after President Biden inexplicably removed that designation. Religious persecution is tied to political repression.
Religious persecution is tied to political repression. Did you hear that? It's tied to political repression of the Biafran people. So as you are a Christian and we are complaining of genocide, the religious persecution is tied to your political repression as a Biafran seeking for Biafra independence. So that is why Nnamdi Kanu case now, from religious, it has connected to political. So why is it that it is one set of people that are doing the massacre and the government of Nigeria favors them? They don't want to jail them. They don't want to give them life imprisonment. They don't want to fire them to death. But Nnamdi Kanu, they want to fire him to death. Because as a Christian, the religious persecution of a Christian now has become political repression to a Biafran.
And weakening institutions in Nigeria. Example,
Nnamdi Kanu is what they have to talk about here now.
the detention of Nnamdi Kanu is a clear
The detention of Nnamdi Kanu is a clear example.
example. In 2022, Nigeria.
In 2022, listen, they are quoting the court verdict of 2022 of Nigerian terrorist government for you. Listen to it. So if you think that our APM taking picture, having meeting with these lawmakers of America, that it is for nothing. Now here, so that you know they are fully aware of everything that is happening. And they will even tell you here that they followed up the court verdict today, and this is what Nigeria did today before they enter this place.
Nigeria's Court of Appeal struck down the charges against him.
Okay. Nigerian court struck down the charges against him in 2022, Court of Appeal. Listen, and they ordered for his release.
Ordered his release. The UN Working Group on Arbitrary Detention is all.
The UN Working Group on Arbitrary Detention also did the same thing. Now, everything that this man is saying here, they are all inside the U.S. congressional testimony that was submitted by APM, BRGIE to the U.S. Congress. All this information, they are there. So, the U.S. congressmen and women are briefed. They know, they are watching the trap that was set for them, Nigeria now. They are falling into it by helping you to validate Biafra independence. By pronouncing Biafra independence to be what? A kill, a shoot and kill. They tell you that they have to do what? Do death sentence to Biafra independence. In their own court, they pronounce with their mouth. That wasn't enough for them. They go inside and came back and say, oh, we want to have mercy. We don't want to do life. We don't want to do death sentence again. We don't want to stone him to death again. We don't want to shoot him to death again. What we want to do now is we will pronounce life imprisonment. And let us see where you people are going now. Where will now go fall? Because you have actually told the American government that Biafra independence has come to be, and then you are fighting it now to make sure you stop it. And Biafrans that did not even know, and the entire world that did not know, today is the day that they will now know that Biafra independence had come to be, and the Nigerian government have declared eternal war against them. So everybody now will rekindle the fire to give the support for Biafra independence.
Also called for his unconditional release. Yet he remains in solitary confinement, in deteriorating health, and recently had to represent himself in court.
Did you see that they follow up to know that Nnamdi Kanu is recently representing himself in court with no lawyer standing for him? He is the one representing himself in Nigerian terrorist court. This is the U.S. congressional hearing of today.
Nigeria has signaled that the law is optional.
Nigeria has signaled that the law now is optional.
And targeting Christians is fair game.
And targeting Christians as a fair game. Are you getting it? Targeting Christians as a fair game. They have shown that the law is optional, and their main aim is to target Christians alone. Any species of Christian is a fair game for them.
Just hours ago this morning, despite the pleas and cries of
Just hours ago this morning, listen, they are going to tell you about what Nigeria have done today by pronouncing the imprisonment of Nnamdi Kanu. Just hours today, even as Nigerians have called for his release. Listen now.
Nigerian people and many Nigerian lawmakers, Nnamdi Kanu was convicted on all charges.
Did you hear that? This is just a recap of what Nigerian terrorist government have done. Just a recap of what Nigerian terrorist government have done to Nnamdi Kanu and to the Biafran people. And so, the U.S. government, the U.S. lawmakers are following up and fully aware of what is happening. So that is just, then listen to the question that is going to ask you people now.
For fiscal year 2025, the U.S. has requested nearly $8 billion for sub-Saharan Africa. But when Americans see political prisoners, judicial defiance, and the slaughter of Christians, they understandably ask, as they meet their own struggles, why should our tax dollars support governments that refuse to protect their own people? Is our aid aiding a genocide? Nigeria is a nation of tremendous potential, but that potential is being choked out by violent persecution of its Christian population. No country can build a stable future where churches are burned, believers are killed, and communities live in fear. The United States must stay engaged, and Nigeria must change course now. Mr. Pratt, a direct question. Do you believe?
Listen to the direct question. Listen to the direct question to all of you that are listening to us.
In your professional assessment, that the government of Nigeria has been infiltrated by jihadists?
This question shock. This is the question that our APM told you people that he has been educating the lawmakers of America. And today now, the lawmakers of America are putting it in the congressional hearing. All right. I think we have the big fish in the house now. So when he comes, he will come and do woto to more of this. So I appreciate all Biafrans, and without wasting much of our time, I want to bring our Honorable APM, who just came out from this congressional hearing where this very event was happening. As you see this photo where you see him there, that he was there. I showed you people the video where he was videoing inside there. So we are welcoming our APM to the screen to talk to Biafrans. Honorable APM, you're welcome, sir. And we have missed you so much, and thank you for your great work. Ndewo APM, welcome on stage.
Yeah, thank you, Minister of Information. Thank you very much. And thank you for the great work that you are doing, you and the entire team. We will not retreat, we will not surrender. Biafra is our hope. Biafra is our destiny. I hope I'm coming out correct.
Yes, sir. Your camera is okay.
All right, thank you very much. Yes, fellow Biafrans, greeting from here. Good evening, good morning, good night, depending on where you're joining us from. Today, it's been a stressful day, and at the same time, the Nigerian terrorist state, they always prove that they will not disappoint. We Biafrans for long will be waiting to see what the terrorist state will do. When they kidnap our leader from Kenya, they did not kidnap him to hand him over bread and butter. They kidnap him for the reason of for him to surrender Biafra to them, for him to stop fighting for the freedom of Biafran people. And for we Biafrans, we praying that they should release our leader, Nnamdi Kanu. And for some of us, we well understand or understood that you cannot get justice from the court of your oppressors. If they meant well for Biafran people, they will not kidnap him against all international norm. They kidnap Biafra because our leader, Nnamdi Kanu, represents Biafra. They kidnap Biafra so we won't get our freedom. The question now is that where do we go from here? Months ago, during one of the town hall meetings, I remember, I made it clear that what we are doing from Washington, D.C. is what we release our leader, Nnamdi Kanu. Our activity is what we release our leader, Nnamdi Kanu. And why you have somebody like Maxwell, our leader lawyer, and other lawyers that don't know their left and right, behavior like him, keep running everywhere. The same playbook, what happened 2 years ago, just repeat himself. 2 years ago, from lower court to higher court, now they are talking about appeal court. From appeal court to where else again? That will take months, if not years. Nigeria will keep playing this game, Maradona, buying time. All this just game. They are buying time. We pray. We wish our leader, Nnamdi Kanu, we wish the releasing. But the court of your oppressor can never give you a fair hearing. What do you expect? My fellow citizens, what do you expect A dog cannot give birth to a donkey. A terrorist country, a terrorist state, remain a terrorist state. White is white. Black is black. Why this light is on? Do you see the darkness? Then when you turn on the light, what happens?
Brightness.
Light and darkness have nothing in common.
Yes, so
You can't miss it. My people, wake up. There is nothing you do in this world that you will turn this white, this black to white. If you're a Biafran, how do you feel today? Is it a humiliation? Is it an insult? We are not Nigerians. We are Biafrans. We don't belong to that country. We're not part of that system. If you're a Biafran, why are you forcing yourself? Why are you putting yourself in danger? Few weeks, few months ago, I tried to take my people back to memory lane for them to remember what happened 1967 to 1970. The major generals then, of which Obasanjo is one of them, that killed Biafrans in thousands and millions. Oduduwa, Yoruba people. We are here talking about Hausa Fulani, Islamic jihadists. Yoruba people are also jihadists in their own way. They might be terrorists by tribe. They are evil. And Biafrans, some are not paying attention. The president of the contraption evil country called Nigeria, drug lord, is a Yoruba. The evil judge today is a Yoruba. The Yorubas have lined up themselves with position in Tinubu'S shithole government. When Buhari was there, likewise the same thing. A terrorist president called Buhari, a Fulani, line up Fulani in Nigerian terrorist government. And you Biafrans that are still kissing their ass, thinking you belong there. You don't belong there. You're not part of that Nigerian elite class. You are not a Nigerian. They never recognize you as a Nigerian. They only use Biafrans as winning tools to achieve their goal. Just a few days ago, this evil woman called Bianca, we need to take that Ojukwu out of there. She's evil. A woman who sold her own. A woman who kills her own. Very evil. Mazi Simon Ekpa in Finland. She's part and parcel of what happened while Mazi Simon Ekpa was arrested in Finland. What is she doing here, United States of America, a few days ago? Why didn't she appear or come to the hearing today? They always come in darkness, come in shame, and live in shame. The Nigerian government push her. Go and tell America you are from the East. There's no problem in the East. We are Nigeria. Who Nigeria? Where are you from? Because your people too are evil. Tell me your friend, I will tell you who you are. All the evil people in Biafra land that are putting us through this pain before it's too late. Make a U-turn, will not forgive. I got you here. I got Zacha family because we don't want no evil family in Biafra. Nnamdi Kanu, look at how they have been treating him, maltreating him for years. While you have Boko Haram, ISWAP, Al-Qaeda, ISIS, with AK-47 and all manner kinds of sophisticated weapons, terrorizing the whole region, terrorizing the whole Biafra land, killing our children, mothers, beheading people, destroying farms, and all this witch and wizard, evil human being. Please, my language tonight might not be good. This is not a normal night that I will just come and be political correctness here. Sorry if what I'm saying offend you one way or the other way. I just have to say it the way it is. It might not be now. It might be tomorrow or next, but very soon, we will wipe all the evil people from our land. All the evil people are putting us in this pain. Look at Nnamdi Kanu at the courts today, yelling, screaming for help, telling the Nigerian court they don't have the right, nowhere in their own law, that they should try him. They kidnapped him from Kenya. And some Biafras are doing buying and selling, importing and exporting. Some are living their normal life thinking it's okay. I attended the hearing today in Washington, D.C. After this great congressman here, James, when he walked to me, he looked at me, he shook his head. He said, finally, see what this evil country, Nigeria, have done. They finally convict him. Nigeria is a useless, disgraced country, just like President Trump said. They always fall into the trap and they keep disgracing themselves. 2 days ago, the foreign affairs minister on one of the show, Per Morgan, yeah. This foreign affairs minister said for the past 5 years, 177, I believe, have been killed, and either 7105 churches or 7. Can you just imagine how the Nigerian terrorist state, how they disgrace themselves? And you a Biafra, is it not time for you to get out of Nigeria before Nigeria will take your life? Is it not time for you to support your freedom? In Capitol Hill today, I saw a friend, one of mine used to be a friend. We all play soccer together. A good friend for that matter for over 20-something years. Why I'm there for something different, I don't know what his intention is. And I don't even care, I don't mind to ask. But he knew what I'm fighting for. And this is a Biafra. There's just a lot going on today. But inside, the lady called Oge something. Right behind her, the man that is sitting behind her is a Biafran. When this man looked at me, he even greeted me with Biafran language. Why I'm there for something else, to fight for our freedom? Some of these people are there for their own personal gain or interest. Ogie or Oge, whatever her name is, she's a Biafran. What a shame. If you're a Biafran, you're not supporting your freedom, you're not supporting Biafran freedom. Now that we need you, the land of Biafra will not bless you. The land of Biafra will not bless you and your generation and your offspring. That is the curse we will lay on you. This man that greeted me today, Honorable Minister of Information, while Oge was speaking, just put her video there. I think I will pinpoint the man. He knew who I am. And he knew, what I'm fighting for. Many of them like that. This is not time for us to be pointing fingers. We call all Biafrans to fall in line with Brgie. Let us all move with full force, with strength. There is some ongoing meeting that we can make public now. But whether if United States of America is following, whether if they know what is going on, over 100%, they do. They follow more than some Biafrans do. Now we need to prove, to let them know we are ready. They can support us, they can help us, but if we don't help ourselves, don't blame them. Don't blame America. We need to step up and be brutal. This disgrace is too much. If it is our leader, Nnamdi Kanu, I quote by his word, he said, "Mbaria, they go too much." No, Honorable Minister of Information, you have to play from the live stream, not the one, not from this year. Yeah, this Oge here. All right, that's the man behind her right there. That man there. He said Biafra.
This one, yeah.
No, yeah. Because I let her sit somewhere next to him. That is when he greeted me.
Okay.
He said Biafra. The lady up front, Oge, is a Biafra as well. My fellow citizen, the man at the back there, I think you remember who he is, right? Sean. behind me.
Yeah.
Yeah, behind me.
Yeah.
Okay. Biafrans, wake up. The world is watching, especially United States of America. When this great man walked towards me, he did not find it, what you can tell from the face. He's not happy. He's very angry. Look at me, he shake his head. Said they have finally, before I know how pleasantly we used to greet, but today I can just feel it's just different. Said they are finally convicted him. That's what he said. My people, when will you wake up? And for those of you that are still falling in love, getting married to the Fulani Yoruba people, when we talk about the Fulanis, we need to start cleaning them out. The Yoruba people, that is shown behind me there, he's a really advocate of persecution of Christians as well. Know your enemy. And for Biafrans all over the northern part of Nigeria and southwest, especially, Duduwa, Yoruba Republic. Watch your back. Know what you're doing. These people will stab you from the back. They have colluded with the Hausa Fulani. Nigeria belongs to them. They have shared Nigeria like you share cake. The Yoruba people are beneficiary of that contraption. The northern part of Nigeria, they are also beneficiary. What about you, Biafra? Here in the moon. What have Biafrans benefit since 1914 until the expiration of Nigeria? Because Nigeria is expired drug, about to explode. Every day they keep falling in the trap of the international community. Nigeria is a disgrace. Before President Trump uttered that word and called Nigeria a disgraced country, do you know what it is? Shithole country. Look at the lady here, okay? This year around March, actually I attended the hearing too. Today she starts moving the goalpost, because she knew everything now is in social media. The whole world is against Nigeria. She trying to negotiate like a broker. If United States of America can help the Nigerian government, for help them in maybe in some logistics to counter terrorism, she tried to advocate for Nigeria that they don't have what it takes to fight Boko Haram. But the same Nigeria sponsor the terrorists. That is the man right there. The same Nigeria sponsor these terrorists. The same Nigeria. My fellow Biafrans, if you don't rise up and do what you're supposed to do, you are a problem of your own. If we don't rise up, we have to blame ourselves. How do we fight this terrorism? How do we chase this?
Sorry, I think we lost APM network. It should be back. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, I'm back up now.
Yes, you're back now.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
thank you. Biafrans, our website is open 24/7. Biafra is here. When I keep saying Biafra is here, I know what I'm talking about. When he walked to me today, this great congressman, when I look at him, he shake his head. If he can be so emotional than some of you Biafra, so personal, he said finally, they have convicted him. And Nigeria think is going to be fun to say they pronounce Nnamdi Kanu, our leader, sentence of what? If anything happened to him, they are about one chance. We Biafrans are sending a strong warning to the legal team. I don't know what kind of advice or what kind of game they're playing for the past, how many years? 4 to 5 years now. They're playing the same game with this kangaroo court of Nigeria, knowing that justice cannot come from there. Maswell was ranting, now they're going to appeal. Then they will bring it down from appeal to Supreme Court, to High Court, to this. Before you know, 1, 2, 3, 4 years is over again. It happened before, 2 years ago. The court acquitted him. And Buhari, the dead imposter Buhari, refused to let him go. The same playbook. I saw one video of one of our leaders' sibling, one that called Meme, Prince, whatever. This stupid idiot. 2021, he was parading himself, dressing like Onyendo. This is not a family business. And they always interfere. Whenever someone have to visit our leader. Instead of these useless siblings to come together and align with Brgie, all they do is to disrupt what we are doing. All they do is to conspire to write to EU to imprison Mazi Simon Ebo. And they still have the same plan to come after us here in United States of America. Here is the battleground. I'm waiting for all of you. I'm not in Finland. I'm not in that EU that have colluded with terrorist states like Cameroon and Nigeria. I'm here in America. Can't do me nothing. You can't do breaking nothing. But we destroy Nigeria from Washington. Mark my word. And Onyendu Nnamdi Kanu must be released. And all these sprinter group everywhere, Pakiano. I'm coming. Brgie is coming. Brgie Apm, all of you like this. Biafra Republic government in Israel is only the legitimate government. Any other counterfeit part. We are not joking. The first time I met with with James, a year ago, the first meeting was over a year ago. We did not start the journey of Washington today. The journey of Washington started over a year ago. Our message has penetrated. They get the message. And every day by day, Nigeria terrorist state is always proving to be a shithole failed state. What they just displayed today just show that Nigeria is gone. Nothing but a garbage, very useless country. And all the saboteurs, all the evil people that have colluded with these terrorists that are coming to kill us is not a threat. Biafra will come after you. Remember when I say Biafra, Biafra is over 70 million. Not just one person. Before you come and say it's Mazio again. Biafra will come after all of you. The same way the leader of the free world, United States of America, is paying key interest, watching what is going on, that made this great man to, spark today with anger, all the way from over 5,000 miles to Biafra land. Do you know how many people that are very angry? Not just him today, but he's one of those today that show it by his word, and you can tell when he speak about what happened today in else shithole disgraced country called Nigeria. And what about you as a Biafra? What about you as a Biafra? What are you doing about your freedom? Some of you think it's a joke. Those of you that are coming after me, I'm waiting. I'm going nowhere. Those of you that think you can bring Brgie Biafra Republic government in exile or Biafran people down, we are waiting. We are watching. And you can't do it. Rather, we'll come after you. Some of us have dedicated our life, everything we do, to fight to restore this freedom. I spent the whole day in Washington today. Why some are out there to talk about me, to talk about how criminal or evil I am? I'm there campaigning, talking about the freedom of Biafra. Then you tell me, between me and you, who Biafra land we bless? Fellow Biafrans, the journey, the more it gets tougher, the more we're going to mash it up. Nigerian terrorist state, the more they are playing their card, the more we will mash the card. Let's see where they go from here. I don't want to blame my fellow citizens for not doing what is right. But I believe You believe. I believe you know what is right to do. Fund your freedom. We need to go harder on Nigeria. We need to invade Nigeria from our territory. Anything Nigeria, from their useless green and evil white flag, any Nigerian company, anything Nigeria should be evicted from our land. If you come across anything that represents Nigeria, take it down. If you can't do it, fund your freedom. No country can survive without fund. No country can fight a war without fund. Even Israel, who is soliciting for money, Hamas, likewise, even the terrorist Hamas, even the Houthis Hamas, even the Hezbollah Hamas. Russia is actually looking for money too. Ukraine is looking for money. Why today Ogi is campaigning for United States of America to equip Nigeria, which will also cost money. And why a great Congressman James here condemned the aiding or the funding going to Nigeria, that they should stop it. If that stop, Nigeria will go down more that they can't fight. And if we Biafrans can fund what we are doing, that will be a plus to invade Nigeria out of our territory. If you're one of those that just want to listen and watch what we are doing, keep watching, keep listening, keep following and following. You must be a fool to just keep following. If you are not supporting, what's wrong if you support your freedom? At today's court, just only Onyendu in the court. He was just there helplessly. While you have the Nigerian terrorist DSS surrounding, the lawyers can do nothing. You can't fight them in their own court. He's even telling one of the DSS personnel or whatever not to touch him. And they're trying to manhandle him. And some of you Biafrans, all you care about is your container in the high sea. When is the ship going to arrive? That's your ship. That's your container. If you don't support and free yourself, these Fulani, terrorists, jihadis, they will take it over from you. That's your beautiful mansion in Biafra land that costs millions of dollars or billions. It will be their inheritance. They will chase you out of that your village. They will chase you out of that your community. And they will occupy it. And you can do nothing. The best you can do now is to stop them, push back, fight them, chase them out of your land. And for the Middle Belt, before 1914, over 99% are Christians. We understand what happened, they betray us. We understand what happened, that Gowon is from the Middle Belt. We understand that the genocidal war that was waged against Biafran people, the Middle Belt partake or partook of it. They're part of what happened to us. But as Christians, we need to fight together as Christians. Because we Christians, we are a religion of peace. We are not the extremists that quote unquote that they are religion of peace, while they are full of violence. Middle Belters, it's time that all of you come and support the Biafran people, since you are not ready to redeclare your territory, since you are not ready for your freedom. Come support the Biafran people so that we all can fight these terrorists. And if you allow them chase you out of your land, you can run to Biafra land, we'll welcome you. Then maybe when you all come to Biafra land, you will support and fight from Biafra land. As for the Oduduwa, Yoruba people, the Yoruba, two-face, they can never be trusted. If you're a Biafra dealing with a Yoruba person, be careful. They will stab you. They can never be trusted. Before 1967, we understand what happened. Why Biafra was declared, Yoruba Oduduwa was supposed to declare their own country. But rather, they collude with the North and kill millions of Biafra. We will not forgive. If you don't repent, instead of the Yoruba Oduduwa Republic of evil people, instead of them to work with the Biafran people so we can be the best ally, they want to cause enmity that will last forever. They want to cause enmity between our children and their children and their children, both born and unborn. They forget about the consequences. It's not easy for wound to heal. We'll always remember the pain they have put us through. Those of you that have been waiting to see what the Nigerian terrorist state is going to do to our leader Onyendu, are you still waiting? Are you still doubting that you can't get justice from the court of your oppressor? Rather, you can get your freedom with strength. You fight for your freedom. United States of America here fought for their freedom. They fought the Great Britain. Freedom is not easy, it's not cheap. You fight for it. It's not given, it's taken. You take your freedom with iron hand. No one will hand your freedom to you in a platter of gold. I understand that Biafrans are not violence. We are God-fearing people. We are lovable people. But at the same time, when someone pushes you to the wall, when you turn around, nowhere else to go, what do? You push back. You fight. All the Igwes in Biafra land, all the Ohaneses, all the illegitimate governors, as far as we Biafrans are concerned, any of these that have colluded with the enemy, they are enemy of Biafra. And we will treat them as enemy. If you know any of them, you know how to deal with them in your own way. Hold them accountable. If you can't, if you can support your freedom financially with with money, fund your freedom. Freedom is so sweet. Fund your freedom where you will get good justice, not like the justice of this kangaroo country called Nigeria. Fund your freedom where you will have a country, a law-abiding country, a country that have it all, a country that have good security, good infrastructure, good education, good lovable system, a workable system for that matter, good hospitals, good schools. When I say good hospital, in Nigeria today, the corrupt politicians of Nigeria, do you know they don't take treatment in Nigeria? They flew abroad because they don't have good workable or good hospital in Nigeria. What a shame. Where is former governor of Anambra State, the drunkard called Willie Obiano? After his tenure ended, he flew abroad. He's somewhere United States of America to relax and enjoy good life, good weather, where you have electricity 24 hours, where you have good infrastructure, where you have good security. But when this idiot was there as a governor of Anambra, he's not even to provide a good hospital for Anambra. He's not even able to provide a good workable society to Anambra people. Not just him. There is tens of them like that. Where is Gowon? Gowon have flew somewhere abroad too. Because Nigeria is not workable. Shithole, disgraced country. My fellow citizens, I don't want to blame Biafra for what is happening now. But if you're a Biafra, you're not funding your freedom, you are to be blamed. Do you expect Congressman James to come and fund your freedom for you? That means you must be a. He can advocate for you. He can support. He can be voice for Biafran people. They can support us when they see how serious we are. Today at Capitol Hill, some of the congressmen and women that I have had meeting with, I have the opportunity to still see some today. I can tell they are not in good mood. A lot is going on. Yes. With what Nigeria did today, most of the congressmen and women, US lawmakers that know about it and that are following, they are not in good mood. Nigeria, terrorist shithole country. Are you able to eat what we are cooking for you? It will not end well for Nigeria. If you're a Biafra, don't be cursed. If you're a Biafra, you can support your freedom, and you're not supporting your freedom, you will be cursed. And that curse will follow you and your generation. Because our heart is broken. Look at your leader, Onyindu, helplessly in court today. No one can defend him. Look at the way they maltreat him. Only what we can do for his release. We come every day, every Saturday, campaigning, pleading, fund your freedom. So we can evict Nigeria from our territory. So we can deal with them. They will be forced to come to negotiate so we all can go our separate way peacefully. Some of you refuse. And some of the useless lawyers still believe in the same Nigerian court. What can a terrorist court offer you? What can a shithole state offer you? Nothing. A country that cannot even offer you basic security. A country that cannot offer you electricity. A country that cannot give you good running water. A country that after graduating, you can't get a job. A country that is built of fraudulent foundation. A country that is calm. A country that the education system is so corrupt, bribing and corruption. People pass out of their school with all kind of high marks, never even taking one exam. Everything is paid for. Nigeria is not working for me. Nigeria is not working for millions of Biafrans. I have a question for you. Is Nigeria working for you? Are you happy to be a Nigerian? Are you pleased to be a Nigerian? The answer is no. While some of you are living in denial, thinking Nigeria will work, it can never work. While United States of America is preparing to come to Nigeria to deal with the terrorists actually intensify more attack because they call it a holy war, a jihadist war. It's something they'll be waiting for. Some of them believe when they die, they will go to heaven. They have 72 virgin. I don't know if their Allah have make it up to 100 virgin waiting for them. Some want to die. Some want to commit that their jihadi and die. Some of them don't have the same mindset you have, to have a good family, train your children in a godly way, have a normal society, a workable society. These terrorists, they don't have that mindset. They are not builders. They are destroyers. Why all this is happening? They call this group Islamic extremist terrorists or Islamic extremists. There is nothing like moderate Islamists. They are all the same. Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Iran, they sponsor this group. These groups are their foot soldiers. Their aim is to conquer Biafra land, in extension the whole world, to Islamize everyone, conquer the whole world with their terrorism. But it is worst in Biafra land because they want to conquer Biafra land and lay their hand on the mineral resources A warning to the West is that if they allow that to happen, they will attack the West, even United States of America. Fellow citizens, it is not the end of the road. The journey just begins. Our leader, Nnamdi Kanu, will get him out. We will do everything from Washington, D.C. here to make sure he is out with condition. With conditions. We will make sure the leader of this free world work with the Biafran people to give Nigeria sanctions that will cripple Nigeria overnight. And why that is happening, we Biafran people, we fund our freedom and go harder on Nigeria. Nigeria must go on their knee when time comes. Please fund your freedom. Support this one legitimate government that is working hand in hand with United States of America government. The only government that is recognized, the only government that have a lobby in Washington, D.C. that represent the Biafran people. Modern global strategies, of which Elias Garasolis is a good partner of us. If you haven't joined this movement, you are missing out. Time is coming when you will be pleading with your money. You want to call Minister of Information, CUS, others, Bishop Comfort. You will be calling, how can I support? What is the website? By then, we will tell you, we don't need your money. Now is the time you write your name in the history book of freedom of Biafra, in the good book of Biafra. Thank you from here. Don't let your heart be troubled. Don't let your spirit be broken. The terrorist country called Nigeria just exposed themselves today. They just make United States of America to talk more about Biafra. They just give United States of America the reason they should recognize Biafra. Thank you from here. I know it's late for some of you in Europe. Thank you from here. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you to our Honorable APM. Yeah, it's very clear that, just like you said, Nigerian terrorist government have invariably given the American government the red light about themselves and given a green light for Biafra to be looked into and for more discussions to spark for Biafra, because anyone that did not know about Biafra before now, after looking into the media and then seeing the US congressmen, the lawmakers of America convening on this very day to discuss about the evil that is happening in Africa and precisely in Nigeria, and then they get to hear that the US lawmakers are fuming about the persecution of Christians and a Christian leader, a Biafran leader, the eye of the independence of the Biafran people. So it's a very big message, and Nigerian government have actually shot themselves on the leg. The trap that American government set for them, they have fallen into it. And I don't know how they are going to get out of this one, because it's going to be a very dying one. Because where America leads and when they point the spotlight, that is where everybody look into. American government have been the one that brought Nigeria persecution of Christians to limelight. And after then, the entire international community have now keyed in. So Nigeria again have given America another edge against them. And Thank you so much for your participation in this congressional hearing of today. And we continue to appeal to all Biafrans in the same voice to keep their personal issues aside and come and join their hands to do the needful, because we need more of their sacrifices now. It is not about going to the media and talk from morning to night, and where you see that Nigerian terrorist government have pronounced death sentence to Biafra independence and independent leaders, and then you just start making noise in the media. No, that is not what makes the difference. It is not that making noise in the media that will make the difference. No. What will make the difference is what we do in Washington, D.C., like our APM said, and what the Biafra Defense Forces will be doing in the homeland. It is a war of survival. It must be fought inch by inch, neighborhood by neighborhood, rooftop by rooftop, for you to get your freedom. And we thank God for having our APM in Washington, D.C. Unlike 1967 to 70s, the lawmakers of America would not have known today that Nigerian government gathered to pronounce a death sentence to the leader of the Biafra independence. Nobody would have known. Nobody. But today, there is the possibility of the acting prime minister being part and parcel of a U.S. congressional briefing, having the discussions of the Biafran people with the U.S. lawmakers, and they are now of the know. Even before Nigeria started pronouncing the death sentence of our Biafran leader, the U.S. governments are already aware of it. And they were even quoting it to other Biafrans or other Nigerians that are not even aware of Nigerian pronouncement against today. So, Osetigo, yes, the responsibility is ours now. If you want Biafra, come and support BRGI, because the next phase will be very brutal. And we want to say a very big thank you to all Biafrans and a very big thank you to our APM for joining the studio even with your tight schedule. We appreciate your sacrifice, and we look forward to seeing more Woto Woto that you have against one Nigeria. Thank you to all Biafrans, and thank you to the lovers of Biafra and to the lovers of our leaders that are in prison. We salute all of you. If you love what we are doing, and if you truly love Biafra, come and support, because we need your support to do more. Thank you all, and see you all tomorrow. Ndewo ụmụ Chineke.
But I must temper justice with mercy. The court is moved by chapter 22, 23, verse 23 of Matthew, in the book of Matthew, to the fact that, who unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for you pay tithes of mint and anise and cumin, and has omitted the weightier matter of the law, judgment, mercy, and faith. This you ought to have done, particularly, and must notice the word in Matthew 23 and verse 23, the word mercy. Our Lord himself is merciful. No matter what we do, is a merciful God. It is on that note that the court will follow this above admonition of Jesus Christ in the above passage and show mercy to the convicts. In addition, the death penalty globally is now being frowned upon by the international community. Consequently, and in the interest of justice, I hereby sentence the convicts to life imprisonment for the said counts 1, 4, 5, and 6 instead of death sentence. Life is sacred to God. With respect to count 3, he is hereby sentenced to 20 years imprisonment without no option or fine. For count 7, he is sentenced to 5 years imprisonment without no option or fine. To extend the mercy, I hereby order that the sentence shall run concurrently. And due to the nature of the offenses that borders on terrorism and the attitude, violent nature of the defendants that I have taken judicial notice. The last adjourned date, he was so unruly and expressed violence, even was about to beat the security officers here. This morning, he repeated